Hey guys, we're back.
What's up with it? You hear me? Wow, wow, wow. You said, there you go. You did the whoop whoop, so I did the round round. Okay, we good though.
My name is Megan.
And I'm Darcy.
This is our podcast. We talk about anything and everything dealing with relationships.
Yeah, from a his and hers point of view.
That's right. So last time I did a topic.
Yeah.
It's your turn, my fella.
All right, so for this episode, we're going to be talking about, which is kind of funny to think about, communication.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking about what is bad communication, good communication, because right now, that is a topic everybody is talking about on social.
Yeah.
Everybody want to know about red flags, and I think there's a lot to actually go deep in. Mm-hmm. So I'm ready to go deep.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I am ready. I'm here for it.
Okay, so the first thing is give me 2 of your top communication red flags.
2 of my top communication red flags. I guess one is controlling. Mm-hmm. A lot of guys that I've dealt with are controlling. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's a masculine thing or something, but controlling.
Okay, being controlling, and I can understand that. That's something that I had to work on in the beginning, and I'm still working on it now. I'm not perfect, and I understand. But okay,
but
controlling.
We communicate it.
Yes,
and you know where you go, where you put your shirt at.
Yep, short, my height, controlling. That's okay. I see what you did there. After this talk, I'm gonna tell my mom on you because
she's short too.
Don't be talking about my mama. Don't be talking about my mama like that. We're both tall in our minds, okay? But so communication red flag for you is controlling. Mine would be I hate when women expect men to be mind readers. I hate that. How can I know what you want to do, how you want to do it, if you don't say anything? So that's my number 1 red flag. Now, what's your second red flag? What's your number 2?
Bossy and controlling are the same thing.
Yeah.
The lack of communication, but that's communication in general.
But that can be a red flag, though, that you lack communication.
Yeah. The lack of communication.
Yeah.
I know that's what a lot of women say, especially when it comes to relationships. Like, why don't you talk to me? Why don't you share your feelings? Why don't we just sit down and be able to talk to each other? One, because for the men's side, it's like, what's the rest to talk about? It's you. You're over-exaggerating. You're making this bigger than what it's supposed to be. You are the problem.
Let's talk about that. It's you. You are the issue, okay, Sheila? It's you.
When sometimes it do be us, because we be trying to dig for stuff, digging for gold.
Oh my God!
And you gonna find it. You gonna find it.
No, you. Sometimes you don't.
Like my gold, as in problems. You gonna find the problem because you're digging for it. Yeah. But there's not a problem there.
That's deep.
Because I've done that before, and I'd be like, I wasn't ready for that.
I think you need to say that one more time because they didn't hear you out there. Well, you gave some good information. You said, what did you say again, baby? Say that one more time for them.
I've did and found stuff out that I wasn't even searching for. And then I was like, I wasn't ready.
You was digging. Then you dug.
Yeah.
Hit a whole nother source of drama that you wasn't even ready for.
Yep.
But can I get an amen? Amen. I'm gonna say it myself. So lack of communication, controlling, and then my second one would have to be trying to be right. I've dealt with that so much in my life.
This is really good.
Trying to be right because I've dealt with that so much in my life. Like not really listening to the situation and coming with a solution that's actually the most effective solution, but just coming up with a solution that makes you or the other person feel right. Not focusing on what's right, but just trying to be right. And
people think, oh, I'm going louder. So that makes me right.
You can be loud and wrong all day. All day and night. And I've seen so many people.
You can be quiet and wrong. But majority of the people are loud. And they think, I'm going to talk over you. Or I'm going to talk at you. And that makes me right. When, in a sense, it makes you look stupid.
Yeah. And honestly, that's another red flag. Talking at a person rather than talking with them. Because I don't think people understand the difference between that. So yeah, that's a clear difference between talking at someone and talking with someone. We can have a conversation, we can share ideas, and then we can agree to disagree. That's talking with you. but talking at you is kind of like a parent talking to a child.
You did this, you did that. That wasn't right. That wasn't okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happened? Why did you do that?
The seeking to understand.
Seek to understand.
Yeah.
That gotta be a third one for me. I'm a big person on seeking to understand.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
Because I grew up not asking why a lot, but when it comes to relationships, there's a lot of things why I try to understand where that other person with you, where you're coming from, because I might have done the wrong. Mm-hmm. I might have said it a different way, or I might not have said anything at all, and that might have made you mad.
Hey, this is actually a good one.
I was very good. I don't know which one we got. We got a whole shelf over there.
Hey, listen, Caucasian man, the one who was at Meijer that told us to get this instead of what we was about to buy. Thank you, brother. I like your recommendation.
Yeah.
This is a tropical wine. I would tell you the name, but I forgot it. But if they pay us, I probably will remember it. But this is it's a tropical, and I taste every fruit. Mm-hmm. I taste a little pineapple in here. Mm-hmm. Let me see.
You gotta.
Oh yeah, that's what they do in the commercial. The little things.
Wait, there.
I'm scared. I don't like to make a mess. So. And then I seen one guy do this. He went like this, right? And then except for watching the legs develop, this man did this. And I was like, what were you listening for?
Like for champagne, you could probably hear the crackle.
It was, I don't know, but I don't know what I just listened for, but I tried to listen. Let me see. Tastes the same, but it's still good. It's still good. But those are some really good red flags that a lot of relationships run into. Mm-hmm. But when do you start looking at it from a woman's point of view? Do you start looking for red flags from the start, or is it like a couple of months in? When do you start looking for those flags?
A couple of months in. It's a waste of time at that point.
Sure.
I started looking for it in the beginning.
Okay, from like
from the tippity top.
Okay.
Because in the beginning, you're trying to put your best foot forward. Mm. And if you spot those red flags in the very beginning, it's going to be a whole lot more later down the line. Because you're supposed to be trying to hide it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you just coming out red flag, the first date, oh nah, bro.
Yeah, because it's gonna be way more. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Mm-mm. Okay, because I'm reason why I asked from the start or a couple of months in, because a lot of guys are not looking for red flags from the beginning, like communication wise. Mm-hmm. We're looking at appearances, and then after a certain point,
you a feet guy. You looked at my feet.
I did, because if you can't take care of your feet, I can't trust you. Because if you ain't got no pinky toenail, don't talk to me sideways. You didn't even grow a whole toenail. Leave me alone.
Let me tell y'all, this is how I fooled them. Because our first date,
because you done got me. You done tricked me.
But our first date, we were supposed to be, doing the. I got my feet done. I shaved everywhere. And my feet, I am a girl, so I do get my feet done, but I don't put a lot of pressure on it. I'm about to go spend hundreds of dollars on that every 2 weeks. No, my polish lasts for a good month. And after that, I rub it off and go bare for a little bit. And then I might polish it myself. But I'm not about to keep going back and forth to them.
Or I'll give you a pedicure because we pamper each other.
Right, but I'm talking about in the beginning.
I want to make sure that they know that I go over and beyond for my lady right here.
He do.
Thank you.
He do.
Thank you.
But listen, that's just me. I'm not a big. I take care of myself, but I'm not on it like that. But where was I going?
I don't know. This wine is really good. I'm really happy with this choice today.
But the first time I had my feet done and everything, ever since then, after that meeting, he was like, "What happened to your feet?" I'm like, "What? I just had to show up and show out the first day." So it was all cute and stuff.
I didn't know it was gonna get this real on this podcast. That you tell these people after the first date, I didn't trick them. I switched my whole feet out. I don't know who feet she got now, but
they're not ugly. They're just not polished all the time. They're smooth half the time. But they're not ugly. They're just not polished.
Listen, I love all of you.
Thank you.
I don't care what feet you wear Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to stand beside you just like Wednesday and the rest of the week, okay? But, okay, so from the start, red flags is for women. And men, I think we look at red flags, like I said, we look at it from a different point of view.
Mm-hmm.
We look at a physical red flag. And then a couple of weeks to a month time, then we start looking at the things that we can't see. Like the communication trait that we're talking about now. So we do it a little bit later, but by that time, if y'all doing it from the start, you done already seen about 4 or 5 of my red flags.
And we're like, I can change them. I promise I can change them.
Y'all be lying to yourself, which is a good thing. That takes us to our second part of the conversation, communication myths. So one myth is that women think they can change the man that they're with to be a better guy.
And in some cases they can. In some cases, like you, I'm making you less stubborn.
Yeah.
I'm making you a little soft around the edges. You still...
Because I was a straight thug, drug dealer. If murder was the case that they gave me. No, I'm editing all that out. Never mind. Go ahead.
I don't know what I was saying.
You said you was making me a better person. So.
Oh, I'm making you a better person, but you can only go so far. You can't change a whole person's personality. You can't change, like, what's them. You can't change them, but you can change the things around them. That makes sense. See what I'm picking up when I'm throwing up or putting down.
I'm doing everything you need me to do. Okay. But no, that makes sense. Because that's what people think they can do. They want to change the actual person. You can't. You can change their surroundings, like you said, and that may make them react to different things, or you put more information into them, but you can't change the actual person.
Yep.
So when I hear my friends say, oh, I don't like this about him, but I'm gonna change it. I'm like, no, you're not. Because you can't even change it for yourself.
No, and that's the crazy part. People, i.e. women, some women, not all women, think they can change a man but won't change themselves for that man. So he can be like, all right, she's changing for me, let me change for her. It's always a give and take. You can't expect somebody to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. And
then another thing is, you can't expect to change somebody if they're not ready to change.
That too.
So if no matter how much you may like something I do or you don't like it, if I love it or if I don't like doing it, I'm not going to change it for you until I say, all right, she's worth me making that effort. So sometimes you can possibly change the human, but not on your time frame. It has to be on theirs. Yep. So that's one communication myth.
Yeah. What's another one?
Is that women are... Ask me that again. I got another intro I want to do for that one.
So what's another one?
Oh, I got it. The second one is this. That women are better with their emotions than men are. Naturally. Now, I put naturally there because a lot of people go to that as their argument. But science has proven there is nothing that makes a woman more emotionally intelligent than a man from the natural or biological state. It's all about how they were raised and the training that you get. So that's a myth. Everybody can be emotionally intelligent. We just have to train them in that way.
And I know where that came from. That came from when girls, i.e. like little girls, they're taught to feel. How do you feel? How did this make you feel? Oh, you look so pretty. Oh, this is how you should act, or this is how you should feel. Men, they're always taught, or boys, they're always taught, why are you crying?
Stop crying.
Stop crying. You a boy.
So you teaching one side to shut off the emotion, then you're teaching the other side to just move off of emotion, and then we hear now we don't know how to communicate. So that takes me to the last communication myth, and for a man's point of view, it's that logic is more important than emotion. And you actually taught me this, because you need to have a 50-50 with your logic and your emotion, if you can. Everything can be perfect, but they are still equal when it comes to value, because you need social cues and you have social situations where emotion needs to come importance, and logic kind of put that to the side for a little bit. But for a lot of guys, that doesn't really make sense to them. And then we have another communication barrier, because you're talking about emotion, I'm talking about logic, and we're not even getting close to solving the problem that we're originally talking about. And
that's very, very true. And I for me, the way I look at it is, it's great to have both logic and emotion. For me to feel the emotion side, for you to feel the logic. So say we have a problem. You personally are always trying to find a solution for everything.
I am very solution oriented.
To me, I feel like there can't be a solution for literally everything, but I know that it's something, we can come up with something.
I was ready to defend my point, but I had to remember, we got to communicate. I gotta listen and stop trying to be right. So I had to apply that just then and there. I was like, it's a solution to every problem, but it's not.
Like I was saying, it's good that one of us have emotions, one of us has logic. Because sometimes I'd be like, but I don't like that. Like we should go up there right now and say something and complain. And then your point of view would be, what is that going to solve? It's not going to solve anything, just complaining. Especially to people who don't, say, i.e. workers, just regular workers. They don't have any control over what they're doing. So what's the point of complaining? That's your logic.
And neither one of us really want to fight.
Yeah.
We have a lot to lose, so we're not trying to.
Because it might end up being that way, and that's working off my emotion.
Yeah.
But you thought about logic, like, what is that? Sit down. Calm down, pony. What is that going to solve?
Calm down, pony. That should be the title of this video. Calm down, pony. But yeah, it's a balance. But for me, those are the communication myths that I've seen. And I'm like, it's very prevalent because people will say those things out their mouth and believe it. Oh, women are better with emotions, because we're built differently. Like, no,
we're built the same.
Like, from an emotional standpoint, we're built the same. And then that logic over emotion, like, oh yeah, y'all talk about y'all emotion, y'all ain't even got no logic behind it, but okay. But we talk about our logic without any emotion. We need to have a balance on both sides. But it's really not that hard if you think about it. Just sit down, listen to somebody. But it's easier said than done. Yeah. Very much.
It's because a lot of people are hot-headed. A lot of people, again, think they're right. A lot of people don't have time or the patience to sit down and listen and actually open their brains to see what might help their relationship and listen to their partner.
That's important. Listening to your partner is very important. And not just because there's a difference between listening and hearing. I can hear what you say all day.
I say that all the time. I hear you. But when I'm mad, I hear you. But am I listening? Most of the time I am. But when I'm very upset, no, I'm not listening. Like, what do you got to say that's right? Because I know I'm right. But that's where I check myself. Check yourself, people. And be like, all right, Megan, actually listen. Because he might have some value. And he might make a good point. All right, he did make a good point. I hear it. I'm listening. Okay, what you got?
Is that the time where you tell yourself, calm down, pony?
Yes. Every single time. Calm down, pony. I'm like, okay.
I'm gonna look for spots throughout this whole conversation to just say calm down, pony, somehow. So get ready. But that transitions into something else that I found that I was really interested in, actually. So I was doing some, research like we do before any of our podcasts, and I found that it's 6 common communication issues that therapists see. And I wanted to run you through them, and you give me your thoughts, and if this is something that you heard before. So number 1, lack of communication. So this person doesn't talk about their feelings or anything. Just nope. Number 2 is having the idea that talking makes things worse. Now
that's a very good one. That's how I used to operate. Like, oh no, I don't ever. It's better left. This we'll talk about it later, and then it turned into one of those things you're bringing up 50 million years later. Like, oh, do you remember that time? Like, no, just talk about it then and there. Get it over with.
But what made you think that will work? Like, just to sweep it under the rug?
It's mainly like one of those things where I don't want to deal with it. I don't have the energy. I don't have the time. I don't have the mental for this because I already know what's going to happen. We're going to be up in a big argument and it'll turn bigger than what it really is. Like, why even get to it right now? Let me wait until I'm ready. When that time when I'm ready, you might not be ready.
Right.
And then still make it bad.
Because I was on TikTok and a guy was talking about racism. And his quote was, the only way to stop racism is to stop talking about it. And I literally was like, that's the dumbest thing I've heard. Because if I'm trying to lose weight, from your logic, if I wanted to lose weight, then the only way for me to do it is to stop talking about fat food. So you would never hear me say fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, McDonald's or nothing. And I should be skinny by tomorrow because I'm not talking about it.
But you're still eating it.
But you're still eating it. It's stupid. You're still doing it. So that's why I never understood that, and it took that person to saying it for a whole different situation for me to say, oh, I see how that makes sense from a communication standpoint. And then number 3 is the mind reading part. That's a common issue. Ladies, we are not mind readers, nor will we ever be mind readers. So if you have a problem, tell me. That's the only way I can solve it. Okay? I think we all together on that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4 is trying to be right rather than looking for what is right. We talked about that before. Next one is being defensive and not listening. Don't Mike Tyson me. I don't want it. I don't want no mink minks. Because I see them mink minks coming out. I heard ponies got hands, so I don't want to touch none of that. But being defensive and not listening. And then the last one is shutting down.
My favorite. My favorite. Because that is the main thing that I'm working on today. Like today. Because I get overwhelmed and like, oh, he's not hearing me. Oh, I'm not being heard. Let me just shut down and just end all communication. Because obviously I'm not being heard. Or obviously I'm not winning. So let me just shut down because I lost this battle. Yeah, see, you shut down, but I do the opposite. I do the get defensive and stop listening. Or to try to be right. You are more so that, but your main one that you are is trying to be right. Because you know a lot of stuff. And it's okay to know a lot of stuff. That's great. But you don't know everything. Right. You have to remind me. I ain't gonna lie. You have to remind me of that sometimes. Because I watch a lot of documentaries. Too much. About random things. Like, I don't know why I sat there and watched the Playboy documentary, knowing I ain't never gonna see that building in my life, that mansion or none of them people. But I think it's interesting how we balance each other out. So I try to be right, you shut down. In a negative way, that's the worst toxic scenario. Because I feel like I'm right, you still feel like you're unheard, the problem is still never solved. But I also like how we can acknowledge that about ourselves. And how you can tell me like, okay, yeah, you said between 2 different ones, but this one is what I see the most out of you. And while you was telling me that, I had to be like, okay, let's listen. Because I'm talking to you 24/7. I live with you. So you know me better than I know myself. Especially when we talk about these red flags. So I want to say thank you for sharing that. Because I wouldn't have known. I thought it was just being defensive. And I was like, yeah, trying to be right just to be cute. But no, it's really trying to be right. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll work on it. I will work on it. But speaking of working on it. What do we do? What are some tips that we do? Okay. Because I know we have some good ones. Because obviously we wouldn't be making this podcast if we wasn't. Now I'm not saying we're the best. Right. But we have a healthy relationship. Right. Yeah. In order to have a healthy relationship, you have to practice these things that we are talking about. We can't just be talking to you guys and then don't practice what we preach. So you want to be modest. You said we're not the best. I'm going to say and look towards the camera. We are the Michael Jordan of communication. We are the 93. We are the 96 Bulls. I didn't know which year they won. But if they won both of them, we're going back to back. All right. Something that I think we do very well is stopping to think about the problem holistically. Like instead of thinking about how it's impacting me, we think about how it's impacting us. Because if you want to get a problem solved, you can't just think about, well, for me to be right or for me to be happy, I want it to go this way. I want it to happen this way. I want to do this. Like, no, it's not all about me. We are making a union for both of us. Yeah. So we got to think about us and how it's going to impact us. Are we going to go to bed angry? Or are we going to sit there and talk it out? Are we both going to be hot-headed and angry? Or are we going to end up homeless? I don't know. We jumped to homelessness, but I don't want it. I don't want it. You know, no matter how extreme it is, like when it comes to talk about bills or talk about finances, it's about us. Yeah. Not about what I want. I want these Jordans. But do I have money for the Jordans? No. Do I have our rent instead? We got. And And low key, no, everybody know I don't want no Jordans.
We got Skechers money at best. We got Skechers light up Shacks money. That's what we got.
Some of y'all know that I don't want Jordans, but I just,
Yeah,
they're expensive. And just an example.
but I think that's a really good thing because just listen to how you was explaining that. In our household, we don't really talk about so much of I and what I want and what you may want. We say a lot of we. We say a lot of us, ours. We share the blame and the success. So I think that's a tip. It's not only just making sure that you stop and think, but you change the way you're speaking about things. You got to take out that I, take out that you and me, and put, you and me, and put together the we. And I'm saying it's a balance in that, because you don't want to lose yourself into a relationship.
True.
So there's a balance between thinking about, okay, who am I as a person? What can I bring to this relationship? And then the relationship as an entire entity. So that's one thing that I think we do, just to play off of that, is we use we and I more than anything else. Do you have another tip?
I think our really good one as well that we do is we don't go to bed angry.
Yep.
That's a staple.
I've tried. You said no. You said no.
Not at all. Because I can't speak of my parents or anything, but I never liked that. I seen it TVs where people go to bed angry and wake up still angry in the morning, and that starts your day off really bad. And then by the time you wake up, you're like, what was I angry for? I know I was angry. Let me stay angry. Until he say something or apologize or whatever. Like, no, there's no point. Just say, I love you, hug, go to bed. And you don't even have to solve the problem there. Just say, hey, I don't know why we're arguing. I just know I don't want to go to bed angry. Can I just get a hug and a kiss from you? And we can finish talking about this in the morning. But I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to go to bed angry.
Yeah. That's fire. That's true. But we say it's gonna be raw. You told these people about your feet. Let me tell y'all how this stuff actually worked. Because I tried to sleep on the couch multiple times to angry storm out, because I saw it on movies and I always wanted that Caucasian moment. So I come out of the bedroom and I go on the couch, and I think I am about to win this argument. She's gonna be, oh my God, I love him, he left me. No, this girl then called my phone and said, get your stupid butt back in this room. Come back in here. You mad, I'm mad, whatever. But you did ask for a hug. That was one of the most aggressive hugs that I have ever got invited to. But you asked for a hug, and then we actually sat there and we spoke. And that was like a 5-minute conversation that really fixed the problem, because the emotion was really gone. It was more of a logical conversation now. We already went through the emotional side. So she put it really nicely, on this episode. But it don't be that nice. She'll tell me to get myself up here. I can't say the other words. No cursing though. But she knows how to talk about my man titties. Just the right way to get me to move, right? And I appreciate that. Keep me humble. Because I always think I'm the Michael B. Jordan of Detroit. But you let me know that I'm Darcy.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I don't like going to bed angry. Yeah. I would even take it to the next step where if you come on the couch, I'll come lay with you. We have an L couch. So you lay this side, I lay this side. Because we're not sleeping without each other. Yeah, we're not cuddled or hugged up, but we're not sleeping in 2 separate rooms. No. Yeah.
It only took two times to do that before it stopped. Because you literally told me to come in one. The next one you did, come lay down next to me. I was like, this is not going to work.
And after that, I was like, okay, from this point forward, we ain't doing this no more.
Yeah. Yep.
We're going to talk it out, cuddle, go to sleep.
And I think this is a good point to highlight something else. Communication is not only just how we actually communicate, but it's like nonverbal too.
Right.
And then it also comes into our relationship dynamic. And I know we're going to talk about gender roles in our episode in the future. So make sure y'all watch it so we can talk about our gender roles. But here, our gender roles is very fluid. We don't really have gender roles. Because from that time, you was taking full lead. You was taking full control. And I was following you. You were making more sense. You were thinking more logically. I really wasn't. I was in my feelings at those times. So I want to say thank you for stepping up and saying, nope, we're going to move this around and fixing it, rather than looking to me to just fix it. Because this is one of your strengths and one of my weaknesses, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is the best tip that I can ever give you. is 2 words. Check yourself. Okay? Because all of these 6 common issues with the talking to things is going to make things worse. It's really going to make things worse for you because you might go deeper into the conversation that you don't want to, or thinking someone can read your mind. You think because you said something multiple times that I'm supposed to remember, but I have my own life. I have problems that I got to keep away from this family. I don't have time to remember what you said, everything, you know, and then trying to be right. All of that happens when you don't check yourself. When you don't remind yourself that you are imperfect just like everybody else, that you have flaws, that even though you may feel like you're right, if you take a step back, stop and think like you said, use we except for me and you will see that, okay, maybe I wanted to be right, but in this whole situation, I'm still wrong.
Yeah.
Even if I win this argument in the full battle, I lost it because I didn't check myself. I didn't stop and have that evaluation of self. So I think that's a really important tip, to check yourself.
Yeah. A lot of people y'all need to listen to that one. Listen. Write it down. Because a lot of people need to check themselves. Even me. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But checking yourself is it'll help with literally every aspect of your life.
Everything. Every aspect
of your life. Going to work. Watching your own kids. Or talking to your kids. And,
I know we talk about relationships, and we didn't specify as just couples. So we can talk about parent and children dynamic, brothers and sisters, grandparents. So this falls into it. But you hit something that was home for me.
I know.
Parents, check yourself. Listen to your children. Because sometimes your children have information to bear with you and to share with you that you needed to hear at that point. But if you don't check yourself, you'll never receive that information. Then you end up blocking your blessings. Hey, man.
Amen. Hallelujah.
This wise kicking in. Huh? I just wish I knew the name, but if they gave us a sponsorship, I remember it.
Well, that was a very, very, very great conversation on communication. A very good one. I know there's a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
But these are the main things that we feel that are important. And then that we think you guys should hear. Because a lot of people even though we communicate every day, still don't know these things.
Yeah.
So I feel like these are really good topics, really good red flags for ladies. Look out. Men too, but ladies.
To be honest with you, like you said, we didn't hit every topic. So if you guys see that something that we missed or something you want us to talk about or see how it played into our relationship, please drop it in the comments. We're going to answer it. We're going to try to do our best to really dive deep into it. But if you see that we missed something, don't be scared.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Let us know. Because we're transparent people. Obviously, I'm showing my feet.
I was holding on that one.
Yeah, go ahead and drop it in the comments because obviously we are very transparent. So we are open. I've talked about my feet.
I talked about my man titties.
Like, come on now. How deep can we go?
You know. And you lucky this is a family show because I had a joke. And you hit that. I had a joke, but we ain't going to do that one. So we're going to end it off on a positive note like we always do. So make sure you guys keep liking, you keep sharing, you comment because we're going to keep growing. We're going to have these conversations and we're going to all learn and love together. All right? So until next time, talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Close your eye. Hard to keep the human, it gets colder.